that right hash. He'll cut back in. And he'll do a spin move. He's still up.
Rolling near side. He'll loft it up to the end zone. Batted away. Tipped up. Oh, tip drill.
Extending the play. Downfield as a look. And completed. Nice.
Shaughnessy, he'll try to fly in.
Second-ranked Spring Lake Park is in the midst of a historic season led by a deep and experienced senior class that fuels its usual punishing ground game and stifling defense. Today, the Panthers take their first step in their march toward U.S. Bank Stadium when they host Robbinsdale Cooper in the section semifinals. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Hupp, alongside my broadcast partner for today, Tim Anderson. You just saw a look at the bracket there. Spring Lake Park, the top seed in their section. They might move on to play Buffalo if they can beat Armstrong in the section finals. But given how they've played against their section opponents this year, Tim, Spring Lake Park has to feel pretty good about its chances to reach the state tournament.
Yeah, offensively, they've been dynamic. They're scoring in the high 30s most games. They're holding teams down defensively. They really are a complete package, and this is a great opportunity for them. They've had a nice break, definitely more than Cooper has had, and I think that's going to serve them well today on the home field on a kind of a windy, blustery day.
Yeah, definitely a late October day in Minnesota. Now in the regular season matchup between these two teams, Spring Lake Park won comfortably. They got out to a 38-0 lead thanks to guys like Lamari Brown, who had a touchdown catch, got off to a fast start. They led 38-0 at halftime, took advantage of some special teams miscues by the Hawks. Ultimately, they would win the game 41-12 as they did it every which way, including through the air, which is not typical for SLP. But Tim, Cooper has some good athletes at their disposal.
They really do. Amari Davison is just under 1,000 yards. He might go over that today with a really solid game, and he's going to need to be dynamic on offense for the Cooper Hawks because they've got to keep this Spring Lake Park offense off the field. And how do you do that? You run the football, you control the clock, and you move the football down the field and try to keep this game low scoring. And if they can do that, I think that's going to be big. But Amari Davison's going to have a huge game for Cooper to be in this thing.
He had a nice game in the first matchup, and they've got another senior weapon in wide receiver, Samaje Young.
And it's going to be interesting with the quarterback being injured. Beckham Van Voorst is out today with an injury, so Tavarian Thompson's going to have to look for somebody. Samaje Young could be that guy tonight that he looks too often if they have to pass.
Well, either way, they're going to face a tough task in this Spring Lake Park defense.
This defense is stifling. One of the best defenses you're going to find in Class 5A. Heck, even in the state, doesn't really matter who it is, and a lot of it's because they have great linebacker play. Brody Gemlo has been fantastic this year. There's Jamal Smith, who just wreaked havoc in the last time that they played, having a great season. Also getting it done with Dunbar. Jake Dunbar's having a terrific season, along with Snyder, who's actually a defensive back. But if you look at Snyder's numbers, he's got 4 picks this season, and he's been everywhere. I look for this team to continue to have success defensively today. Obviously, they're going to try to use their speed and stifle Cooper, and if they're able to do that, get off the field on a lot of 3 and outs, this offense could really feast.
Well, the defense led by all these seniors could be the key to a deep state tournament run for Spring Lake Park. We'll have opening kickoff of the section semis straight ahead here on North Metro TV.
To Sophia and Gabriel, even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at SavedByTheScan.org.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
A dramatic way to start here at Spring Lake Park as the Navy SEALs deliver the game ball here to SLP before Cooper and Spring Lake Park. And Bill Hupp, Tim Anderson calling this Class 5A Section 6 semifinal. We talked to Tim about the defense for Spring Lake Park in the open, and we'll see them right away against backup quarterback Tavarian Thompson as Cooper will receive the football first.
Yeah, we can't wait to keep an eye on what Cooper can do. I will say, ball security's got to be huge when you're parachuting into a field. Is that wrong to say that?
No,
I think
that's 100% accurate.
I think that's a good message for everybody involved, is like really secure the ball with two hands when you're jumping out of an airplane. That's going to be my rule going forward. But you're right. Cooper needs to have, and this offensive series is going to be so important for the Hawks. Coming out, get a couple first downs, get your offense rolling, and that can build some confidence. If you go 3 and out here, could be a tough way to go. Again, this is their 3rd game in 10 days. They played Tuesday night against Irondale when they won that game 26-20. So it hasn't been a big rest. They haven't had a lot of time to think about this.
Amari Davison and Ashton Harris back deep to receive this kickoff as SLP has it teed up at the 40-yard line with Sam Wolde, a sophomore wide receiver who gets his leg into it and kicks a low squibber. Takes a Cooper bounce off the chest. And now Spring Lake Park is saying they have it, but all indications are that Cooper will start with the football just shy of the 30-yard line at the 27, keep it away from the dangerous return men in Davison and Harris. So, Beckett, Van Voorst, their normal quarterback is out. You see Tavarian Thompson, really just one game of action, 138 yards and a touchdown, but they'll still throw the ball and try to mix it up here. And it's one of those teams that runs the spread and runs it quite well.
He's a big, strong athlete, too. I mean, if you look at him, he's built. So he won't be an easy guy to bring down, and he'll be a factor in the running game here, too, as well.
Cooper's sizable offensive line as well as he goes to work from the 28. Thompson does, and he gives it up the middle to Amari Davidson. And Davidson pushes the pile forward across the 30 out to the 31.
Yeah, definitely going to try to get in and run behind those big guys in the offensive line. You have that left tackle, number 74, DeMarco Hughes. You also want to keep an eye on Donovan Williams, who's playing there in the middle, I think, right around that center position. And that's what they're going to try to utilize.
So they'll go back to work on 2nd and 7. First drive of the game. Cooper in the all-white. Spring Lake Park in their home blues. Thompson gets the low snap, immediately throws a little flip pass out, and it's caught there and hauled in by Eric Larkins, who makes his I lost my notes, 18th catch of the season, and he's tackled at the 35, so it'll bring up 3rd and short after that minimal gain of 4.
It's a nice play call, too, from head coach Tony Patterson to give Thompson something efficient and quick in the passing game, high percentage, and that's a nice completion, setting up 3rd and short.
Again, out of the shotgun formation, Thompson
Oh,
gets the snap early, and things just all out of sorts there as a penalty flag flies, and they'll be set back 5 yards.
Yeah, clearly we got lost in translation on the snap count on when we were supposed to go. And yeah, it'll be a false start. It looks like the center wanted to go on one count and everybody else wanted to go on something else entirely, and that brings you to 3rd and long. And if you're Cooper and you're the underdog, you can't get behind the chains like this and have 3rd and longs. That's where this defense just pins their ears back and sends a lot of pressure.
And this is a team that's racked up 20 sacks on the season. So the ball's at the 30-yard line of Cooper. They need to reach their own 38. Thompson with Davidson this time to his right. It's SLP looking like they're bringing pressure. Snap back to Thompson. He'll pull it down and run, and he's not going to make it. Tackled at the 34, so he manages to pick up 4. But it's a 3-and-out for Cooper as they'll send the punt unit out.
Yeah, a little pump fake there, nothing there, so he takes off on a little quarterback run. Great job by Chase Warner to come up and make the first stick. Finally put away there by Jake Dunbar as well to finish off that tackle and force the punt.
Standing back deep to receive Colin Welch. The defensive back. Hill back to punt from his own 20-yard line. He gets a low line drive punt away. Welch takes it at his own 35, and he's immediately tackled there. Nice special teams play by Cooper, and specifically Eric Larkins. Look at that big one.
One of these days, you'll get there.
36-yard line of Spring Lake Park is where they'll start with the football on their first offensive drive of the game.
Kind of a rare 1 o'clock Saturday start to a varsity football game, and you always wonder what that does to the clock of a team and what that does for their preparation. Nolan Roach, the quarterback, having a fantastic season.
Yeah, he is both a threat through the air and on the ground. And immediately a penalty will move them forward as Robbinsdale Cooper goes offside.
Yeah, they go offside there. And again, it's Cooper having to they got to stay honest and integrity on defense, because what they saw there was E.J. Monluo going in motion in that veer, and I think they saw that motion and jumped, and you can't do that.
Of course, Spring Lake Park has switched over their offensive from the flexbone triple option to the split back veer option this year. Say it complements them and gives them a chance to be more explosive, and another flag,
and you see it,
and another offside.
So you see when they bring that wide back, that back in motion, and they bring him around on the veer, the Hawks defense isn't quite ready for that, or they're jumping at that, and because of that, they're jumping off sides and into the neutral zone.
What's interesting, because it's not like they haven't faced him this year. This is the second time they've faced him, so Cooper already with 3 penalties for 15 yards, and we have
barely hold your water on defense. Yeah, gotta hold it down.
46-yard line. Finally, this play will count, and it's a run up the gut, and it's stuffed up by a couple of Cooper players, including Dadjua Carmo, probably their best defensive lineman, number 35.
And that is Lamari Brown, who's going to probably get a lot of work today with Marquel Mitchell out of the lineup. So we'll see what he's able to do playing in that fullback position behind the center.
Yeah, that's the big news is Marquel Mitchell, who had 2 touchdowns against Cooper in the first meeting, out for today's game. They give it. This time Roach is going to keep it, and he's flung down there by Caden Anderson. Kind of a busted-looking play. He manages to fall ahead. They'll give him a yard past the line of scrimmage, so a gain of 2. But another team that doesn't love to find itself behind the chains is facing 3rd and 9.
And part of the reason why they went to this offense was to give them some dynamic plays on 3rd and long. Back in the old days of the flexbone, they didn't really have a lot of plays for 3rd and long. At least here, Roach is a threat to passing.
Cooper, not real deep as a team, but really big up the middle. And they're showing that in the early going. Throw outside, and Keeler unable to hold it in. Caden Conkler. That's what I meant to say.
I was going to say, you were really working some alliteration here. That was fantastic.
I am used to the 7 o'clock Friday night kickoffs.
Hey, the clock's weird for all of us, Bill. No worries about that.
It really is. So not the greatest throw, but definitely a catchable ball. So each team, Tim, goes 3 and out to start.
Yeah, give Cooper a lot of credit for keeping gap integrity. They didn't fall for that eye candy after they had given up those 2 offsides penalties. When they saw those backs in motion, they just stayed in their lane, watched the ball, and they were able to put Spring Lake Park in a tough spot.
We'll see if SLP wants to get tricky here or decides to kick it away, and they do. Short punt. Just trying to stay away from it now as Ashton Harris was blocking out in front. And so Cooper will basically start just like they did before, this time at their own 29.
Yeah, that was pretty dangerous because it looked like Spring Lake Park was trying to block Cooper into the football, and that's where you got to yell if you're Cooper, get out of the way, get out of the way. So that ball can just be downed, and they'll get okay field position here at the 29-yard line as they start their second drive. But a big stand for their defense on that first series, Bill, to be able to get off the field, get a little confidence going. Pretty big for Cooper.
So Thompson and Davidson and company jog back out for drive number 2. 3 and out and had to punt in drive number 1. Thompson turns and gives to Davidson, tries to bounce it outside and then cut it back inside. He's flung down by Caleb Skelly, who makes his 83rd tackle of the season. Gets across the 30 out to the 32-yard line, a gain of 3.
Yeah, when in doubt, just run behind some of those big daddies like P.J. Jackson, the junior lineman, who's able to kind of get a hole there. Closed up quickly. Good pursuit by the Spring Lake Park Panther defense.
Yeah, they got some big boys, especially on the outside. It'll bring up second and 7. Thompson this time pitches to Harris. Oh, he keeps it. Harris got absolutely rocked by Sawyer Thompson, and ultimately the play made by Braden Hemquist as he tackled Thompson for a loss back to the 30.
And again, this is set up because they didn't fall for the pitch. Look, they wanted to pitch to Davison, but he's blown up by Sawyer Thompson, and there was nowhere for Trevarian Thompson to go, so he had to just eat it.
He got absolutely rocked as Thompson talks to his coaches on the sideline.
Yeah, you might need a minute to think that over with Tony Patterson.
Right. And Tony Patterson wants to call a timeout due to the confusion here on 3rd down.
And it's a good timeout here for Coach Patterson. Obviously, you don't love to take timeouts this early in the game, but you want to make sure you got your house in order here, especially on a 3rd and long. There's 6:52 left to go in the first quarter. It's a cold day. There's a little bit of wind. It's not going to be a throwing day. You need to make sure that if you have to throw, that you can complete passes with high percentage play calls. So get everybody on the same page.
No doubt. I'm actually, interestingly, not that it's about me, but I'm actually used to the Saturday afternoon game because the high school that I attended, the football field was down the hill on a floodplain.
Oh.
So we couldn't have lights, couldn't have turf, and so every home game was played at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Well, that sounds like a good time, so you should be totally in your element here.
I know, but I've lived here a decade now, and I'm out of sync. That's the problem. So the ball's at the 30-yard line here for 3rd and 9. They got to reach the 39.
And Bill, it's always about you. Don't worry about it.
No. And it's going to be a false start on Cooper.
Oh, man, that's already 4 procedure penalties, pre-snap penalties, 2 on the defense, 2 on the offense for Cooper. And that's going to drive you crazy if you're Coach Tony Patterson.
Yeah, that's not what you want, but you could tell that the offense was expecting or was preparing, the offensive line was preparing for the bull rush. And so they jumped early. Like you said, now 4 penalties for 20 yards on Cooper. And they face 3rd and 14. Maybe try to get it to Young here.
It's maybe they don't show pressure here, but wouldn't be surprised if they run somebody up.
Low snap to Patterson. He's back to pass, looking right, throwing, and it's deflected and knocked away. Welch was in the area, so was Skelly. He was attempting to find Yanni Brown, but it was knocked away.
And it's in Yanni Brown's hands here. Take a look at this. It's there. That ball's got to be caught by Yanni Brown. That was a pretty good throw from Trevarian Thompson. There was triple coverage. Had to thread the needle, and it almost did.
Yeah, and honestly, the SLP defensive backs ran into each other, really.
Surprised they didn't blitz there. Really surprised.
4th and 14, and more punt issues as the ball's on the ground. It's scooped up by Spring Lake Park, and they score another special teams touchdown as Sawyer Thompson scoops up the loose ball and runs it in for 6.
Looks a little bit like the last game where they had punting problems down deep in their own end, and it leads to a touchdown for Spring Lake Park. It happens right there. Snaps a little bit high, but it needed to be handled by the punter here. It wasn't that over their head. If you get your hands on it, you've got to come down with the ball. And to fumble that a couple of different times, really a disaster, gives the Panthers the lead.
Yeah, Chad Hill, the punter for Cooper, just bobbled it. Maybe expecting the rush, and then he tried to get away. He was tackled. The fumble forced Sam Wolde on to tack on the extra point. And even though Spring Lake Park has done next to nothing offensively, they lead at 7-0.
You see, it's a little bit of a high snap, but it's not that high. That needs to be handled by the punter. And then to give it up the second time and allow for Thompson to pick this up and run it into the end zone, just a special teams disaster for the Cooper Hawks. And good job by the Spring Lake Park Panthers taking advantage. And again, it looks like deja vu from the game 3 weeks ago, Bill.
Yeah, Sam Warner, the one who ultimately punched out the football. So with 6:38 left to go in the first quarter, it's a 6-yard fumble return for TD by, that's the second one of those against Cooper this year. Sawyer Thompson continuing to absolutely make plays as Tony Patterson goes back to the drawing board. Thompson now in the season, 57 tackles, 9 TFLs, and now a scoop and score.
That's a great one for them. Big, and watch them maybe squib it here again. Coach John Stewart's got to like what he's seeing from the special teams and the defense.
Well, it's an all three phases team, right? And they're going to win that way as this is fielded at the 10. Good return here as Harris bounces it outside, still on his feet before he's knocked out of bounds, just across the 30-yard line at his own 31. So that's where Cooper will take over 1st and 10. 2 possessions so far, 2 3-and-outs.
Yeah, the 2 3-and-outs, but they're also been done in by penalties. You know, a couple of penalties that have taken them out of 3rd and short into 3rd and long. And Cooper, if they're going to hang in this game, cannot operate that way. They have got to get themselves on schedule and be, you know, and just be productive here and execute the basic things.
Certainly not having their starting quarterback is not helping as Tavorian Thompson turns and gives to Harris a big burst up the middle. Best gain so far. He's wrestled down by Warner out across the 40, just shy of the 41. Call it a gain of 9 on 1st down.
You can see that first step from Amari Davison right there. He takes that one cut at the line of scrimmage and is able to take it upfield. Nice job of getting there by Chase Warner. But setting up 2nd and short, it's exactly what Cooper needs to do. Need a 1st down on this possession.
Ball's at their own 41-yard line. Thompson gives again to Harris up the gut. He'll have enough for the 1st down. Minimal gain out across near the 45 to the 44.
Yeah, that's Davison again, getting that run up the middle. Amari Davison is, like I said, coming into this game, he had 938 yards and 8 touchdowns on the season. So, again, a good game today could put him over 1,000, which, again, in 10 football games is very impressive. And there he gets them a big 1st down.
Like you said, their first down of the game. And they're at their own 44. With a little bit of breathing room now as Thompson looks right, throws, and he's well behind his intended receiver out there in Harris.
Those are not great mechanics from the quarterback there. You got to step and throw with a little bit of confidence, and just looks like it takes him a while. He kind of winds up and throws, and in doing that, he puts a lot of air on the ball. It just took forever for that ball to get out there, and it's supposed to be just a quick out. That's a little 3-step drop, bang, ball out, and it just felt like it took a while for that thing to get on target.
Yeah, and then he kind of telegraphs where he's going with it, too, so the defense can react. 2nd down and 10 now from their own 44. 2 receivers right and left, pistol formation now for the Hawks.
Oh, boy.
Another procedure penalty, and that, I think, they hit the backside of the center as he snapped it back, which is why I'm laughing. 5 for 25 now, the penalty count.
Well, if you don't laugh, you'll cry if you're a Cooper Hawk fan right now, because that is frustrating to see 3 procedure penalties in 3 possessions. And again, you were already down your 2nd and 10 as it was. Now you're 2nd and 15, and it's not like you've got a million plays in the playbook for 2nd and 15. So the ability to execute here is paramount when you're on the road against a good team.
Yeah, Samaje Harris operating in the slot. They'll send him in motion now. Fake to him, give to the running back, and he bursts up near midfield, right inside of Spring Lake Park territory. A good run right there by the tailback, Amari Davison.
Yeah, they're going to keep running Davison whenever they can, and this is actually great because now you're over midfield, and it sets up 3rd down and manageable, 3rd and 4. I think this is 4-down territory for Cooper. I think when you cross the 50, you have to think about 4 downs, so this buys you some options. That was a good run by Davison.
Gain of 12 inside of Panther territory at the 49. And like you said, a very manageable now 3rd and 3. Send Harris in motion, fake to him, keep it Thompson, and he'll be stopped short. Tackled on the play by a pair of Panthers, including Skelly and Jake Dunbar.
That's what tells me they are going to go for it here on 4th down. You cross the 50, you have an opportunity to go. That's why you run that play right there. You don't throw it, because if it was a must play, they would have given it to Davison. I like the idea of them trying to do something different to set up this 4th down.
4th down and 2 for the Cooper Hawks at the Panther 48-yard line. As Thompson jogs on the field, we're inside of 4 minutes to go here, first quarter. 7-0 Panthers. Thompson will keep it, call his own number, and he's going to be stopped short. A turnover on downs, no gain on the play. Brody Gemlo, Caleb Skelly, and others in on the tackle.
Yeah, Gemlo makes the play right there. And again, just running right through the defense. That was a great job by Spring Lake Park of just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. And Thompson, this was a designed quarterback run the whole way. There was no thought of handing it off to Davison. This was all Thompson trying to duck in behind the guards. The problem is the guards got blown up. Brody Gemlo came in, put a lot of pressure on. Excellent job there by the senior.
Yeah, he did not get enough of a push. So Nolan Rocha and the boys go back to work, turn and pitch. Nice move there to get away from one would-be tackler and make something out of nothing to gain it 2 as that pitch went to Tyler Wilkinson, who hasn't played much this year, but is back now from a broken collarbone.
Yeah, as one player goes out with an injury, one returns. Wilkinson gives you some dynamic on the outside.
And of course, he was the former quarterback last year, so maybe one of their most dangerous offensive threats as quarterback. Brown tripped up as he gets to the midfield, and so it's no gain. And the Hawks pumped up there on the sideline as Antonio Ferguson led the charge.
Yeah, was that a turf monster there, or did he trip on over the feet of the quarterback? That's because Brown just went down immediately on the handoff, just didn't look comfortable there.
3rd and long now for the Hawks at midfield. Excuse me, for the Panthers at midfield. Roach back to pass, throwing down the seam behind his intended receiver. Caden Conkler down the seam. He couldn't make the completion. And so the punting unit will go on to try to flip the field.
Yeah, take a look. That's not a bad look. Good 3-step drop, nice step and throw, but you throw it behind the target. And Conkler's not going to be able to catch a lot of those. And they threw it, again, a lot more this year than they have in the past. Didn't mean that they threw it always for a high percentage, but I just like that they're able to take those chances.
So the Panthers have only got 1 first down, and that came via a penalty.
Oh, that's going to give them the ball here.
Marcus Snyder run into on the play, behind the play by Ray Heeland. And if that is roughing the punter, that's going to be another Cooper mistake, and it'll go back to Spring Lake Park.
I just have no idea what you're doing right there if you're Ray Highland. You got to have some game awareness there. You're getting the football back. You cannot hit this punter. And yeah, you hit some, didn't get run into him necessarily, but yeah, you've got to, maybe a bit of a sell too, I don't know. But either way, you can't touch the punter in that spot. You got to know it.
Yeah, so that's going to move it to the 35 of the Hawks, and that's where SLP will take over.
That's where your hands, as soon as you see that punter go up and kick, your hands got to come up in the air, right? And you got to disengage from the guy that's blocking you. You have got to go backwards, right? You got to do everything you can to stay away from the punter in that situation.
Yeah, especially if you know the punter might sell the call, which he did there. And so Panthers get new life. Brown, first carry from scrimmage, and that's much more a Lamari Brown style as he goes inside the 30 to the 28.
Yeah, he's a power back, and so they use him in that fullback position, similar to what you saw from Centennial last week, what they use from that same fullback position. They like to get those up the middle tough yards.
And this could be quite the momentum swinger right here if the Panthers can march right down and punch it in and take a 2-touchdown lead. Turn and pitch to Wilkinson on the jet sweep. Makes one man miss, shoves another down. He's going to be just short of the first down, out inside the 30 down to the 27.
Antonio Ferguson with the stop as they try to run that pitch to Wilkinson again. And he does a nice job of being patient here, hoping for a lane to open up. But that blocker doesn't really materialize the way he needs it to. He's able just to get a couple yards.
Tackled on the play there by Caden Anderson, one of the leading defenders for this Cooper team. 3rd down and 1 now from the 26.
It's kind of a weird first quarter.
Yeah, very choppy. Snap, and it's a direct snap. And the ball comes out, and if it hit the turf, if they say it's live, I think that's going to be Cooper football, and it is.
One thing I watched when we saw Cooper play, when I was watching them on film getting ready for this game this week, is that they will punch at the football defensively. They are always looking for a fumble or a turnover, especially those linebackers and corners, and right there's an example of that. Roach goes straight ahead, and when he's doing that, he's getting punched at by the football. As you can see, it looks like it came in number 3 with that last one. That's Ray Highland, who kind of makes up for it, comes in and makes that last little hit, along with number 52, Abel Nason, who was in on that play.
Yeah, and Antonio Ferguson stormed in as well. And that was Roach just trying to fight for more yards, and he got held up, and the ball is turned over at the Cooper 25-yard line. First carry for Davidson, as once again the SLP defense being called on here. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays here in the quarter.
Give credit to the Cooper defense for hanging in there and playing tough. They've had 6 penalties, have the Hawks, in this first quarter, and it just feels like it hasn't gone, nothing's gone right, really, as far as that goes, and yet they're only down 7-0. One score here can change, as SLP offensively has been really sluggish.
Yeah, they've picked up more first downs, has Cooper, than SLP did in the first quarter. There's Ferguson's throw, and it's a nice throw, and it finds Ashton Harris on the dive. Move the chains once more. Their 3rd first down of the quarter.
Another good high percentage pass, and I think they're going to hang on to this and take it to the end of the quarter. They got to continue to do that. If they want Thompson to throw the ball, give him 1-read throws that are 3-step drop ball out, and that might lead to some success for the Cooper Hawks.
Yeah, they certainly got the athletes to get separation early on those slant routes, and so they were able to do that there as we have reached the end of the first quarter. Well, not the start Spring Lake Park wanted necessarily, but they lead at 7-0 after 1 quarter of play here in the Section 6 Class 5A semifinals.
Potato peels. That leftover pizza you promised you'd eat.
Ew.
Those dirty napkins and paper towels.
Stop treating us like garbage.
Did you know up to 30% of what you're throwing away could be composted? Composting gives your discards new life, which can be used to improve soil. To learn more about the new organics drop-off programs available throughout the county and get your free starter kit, go to anokacounty.us/organics.
Start of the second quarter here. Bill Hupp, Tim Anderson on North Metro TV. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Winner of this game gets winner of Robbinsdale, Armstrong, and Buffalo, as the first play from scrimmage of the second quarter is a 3-yard run by Mari Davison.
Gemlo there on the stop. Both teams played a first quarter like they just pulled an all-nighter last night, a little sleepy. Both offenses really struggling. Defense is making some plays. Cooper got to feel really good that they're in this thing. They need a good drive.
Certainly the more they can gain yards and first downs, the more they'll keep the SLP offense off the field. And again, they outgained them 3-1 in terms of first downs. Rolling out Thompson. He's grabbed, tackled, and finally they blow the play dead. An excellent defensive effort there by number 53, Isaac Olson, 6'3", 270-pound defensive lineman.
Yeah, Isaac Olson fights through that block, and again, able to get away from that line. That's a big line for Cooper, but clearly not fast right now, and the speed of SLP is winning those battles. Thompson had nowhere to go, and now once again, back in 3rd and long.
Yep, that is a loss of 5 on the play. So now it's 3rd and 12 from the 34.
Cooper's got big kids on the line, but they got to move their feet, man. They have just been standing there like statues, and the speed of SLP just kind of running around them.
Yeah, and Spring Lake Park, certainly a very athletic defensive unit as well. Speed, the name of the game for them. Thompson out of the shotgun from his own 34. And we're going to have a timeout for Cooper, their second of the quarter, as Tony Patterson wants to talk things over. What else did you notice from Cooper on tape, Tim, in your study of them?
Well, I think, you're right about the fact that they have speed on the outside. They have that. The question I always have is when they have to throw the football, and this was Van Voorst and with Thompson, it just seems like it takes a long time for the play to happen, to develop. And I'd like to see them quicken that pace up a little bit today. The one thing I liked about that last pass play before the end of the quarter was just how quickly the ball came out. But most of the time on film, it just feels like things seem to happen slower than they should. And that's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on today, is can Spring Lake Park's defense take advantage of that? And can Cooper speed up when they need to?
Yeah, so much of offense is timing. And certainly as Coach Tony Patterson talks to his team, it's something they need to figure out. Meanwhile, SLP, a lot for John Stewart to talk to his boys about at halftime, at least based on this first quarter. The only touchdown of the game, a 6-yard fumble returned by Sawyer Thompson on a muffed punt. So, 3rd and 12. We'll see if the SLP defense can get off the field. Plenty of time to throw, and it's too high.
They had time there for Thompson, but you saw the happy feet there. He took 3 steps, and he's dancing, doing a bit of a box step. Take a look here. Never puts his foot in the ground and throws. He's just kind of bouncing around, and he never really sets. And again, that play takes a little too long to develop. You want to see that ball come out. He's got to time that with the receiver so he hits him in stride.
Yeah, and Sawyer Thompson was defending on the play. He ended up knocking the receiver down after the ball had already sailed too high. Thompson had time to throw. Tavorian Thompson had time to throw, but ultimately it was not enough. So the incomplete pass after 1 first down results in a punt. Third punt of the game, I should say.
Yeah,
Cooper.
that almost got blocked.
It'll take a Cooper roll, however, down near the 30-yard line, touched up at the 32. So the worst starting field position of the game here.
The most important thing, though, is food has arrived here in the broadcast booth, Bill. Let's talk about the really important things. Look at how close this block is. Bam! Oh, man, was that close.
I think he got it pieced.
He might have, too. Chase Warner
Chase
brought some real pressure there.
Chase Warner, Tim, if you remember, was the one who forced the fumble on the punt.
Right.
So he's had a very active game. Worst starting field position of the day, incidentally, for the Panthers. But, Tim, now would be a great time for them to put together their first sustained drive. Offensively, they have been lacking in rhythm so far. Credit to the Cooper defense for doing that. 3-yard gain on first down for Lamari Brown.
Yeah, Lamari Brown he runs into his own guy because his line is getting stood up at the point of attack. You want to see this Spring Lake Park offensive line start to road grade a little bit. You got to move that defense. So let's keep an eye on that and see if Brown makes another run here. I'd like to see them maybe get those wide back guys in motion.
Good run there by Nolan Roach across the 45 to the 47.
Well, that works. Get Nolan Roach on a little fake as he kind of deked out everybody, including the camera, and that gives them a nice opportunity to get a first down. And that time, a non-penalty aided first down. Good for the confidence of the offense.
Yes, that's the first such first down of the game for Spring Lake Park, and it comes with 9:30 to go before half. Nolan Roach picking up after that 12-yard gain out near midfield. So, 1st and 10 from the 47 for the Panthers. And another penalty. This time I think it's going to be, on Spring Lake Park.
First time for them getting a penalty today, as it's 6-1 on the penalty count. I believe that's what my numbers are. But
that's right.
So that's going to back them up, and again, put them in a position now where they're first down and 15. It's not like you have to panic, though. You have your whole playbook at your disposal. You just have to decide how much you want to bite off here on first down.
Yeah, I mean, certainly have enough to pick up that first down, especially with the better thrower in Nolan Roach. So the ball now sits at the 42 of the Panthers. Roach turns and pitches to Wilkinson, coming around the outside. He cuts back up and bounces it outside, dragged down eventually from behind by Hector Quia, but not before a good gainer from Wilkinson. They love to run this play today, Tim.
I do love this little pitch play, and I like the patience that Wilkinson runs with. You notice that he's not at full speed when he hits the hole. He only waits until it opens up, and then he goes. But I like that he lets that block set before he takes off. Sets them up now second and short. Great game.
And his return, Tim, makes a dangerous offense even more potent.
Absolutely.
So Roach under center, the ball in Cooper territory. Gives to Lamari Brown, not touched until the second level, and he plows forward down to the 40-yard line. First down for Spring Lake Park.
And that's what we were talking about with the offensive line, right? Being able to establish a new line of scrimmage about 3 yards ahead. They did that, and that gives Brown the room he needs to get the first down. Yeah, adding Wilkinson back when Mitchell's out, at least it feels like, okay, we've lost this really great piece in Marquel Mitchell for the day, but we've gained this extra little weapon in Wilkinson, and that's been nice for Spring Lake Park.
Parrish P.J. Jackson, the big junior nose tackle, makes the play from the 40-yard line. Roach, one-step drop, looking for Conkler, and he overshoots his intended receiver. Conkler watched every step of the way by Kelvin Callan.
Yeah, a little too much juice on that. I don't mind that play call, though. A little one-step throw for a fade route. You're trying to keep this defense honest. You don't want those safeties creeping up on the line like that. By throwing a deep ball, you at least force those safeties back.
All right, so bunch formation now for Spring Lake Park on 2nd and 10 with 7:42 left before half. Look at Roach changing the play at the line, too. He's got good command of this offense. Brown straight up the gut, slips out of a couple tackles, wrestling his way down inside the 30 to the 29. 11 yards for Lamari Brown.
This is where the veer can be really dangerous because you can see they brought Welch just a little bit in motion behind, thinking he might take the pitch, and so that keys the linebacker, maybe freezes him a little bit, and then you go right up the middle with Brown. And again, if everybody's reacting just a half second slower, it changes the whole thing defensively.
Yeah, just that little bit of misdirection, that little bit of freeze can make all the difference. So now, this is more like it from the Spring Lake Park offense as they have the ball 1st and 10 at the Cooper 30-yard line. Brown again runs into the waiting arms of Abel Nason.
You can see without Marquel Mitchell today, it is going to be the Lamari Brown show pretty heavily. I would say he's done, getting 70% of the carries at this point.
Yeah, I thought I heard a noise earlier. Sure enough, that's the bell cow right there, and Lamari Brown's wearing it today. Welcome to working with me.
I love it,
Tim.
Bill. Careful with that joke. It's an antique, and there we're going to get somebody offside.
Third offside penalty of the game on Cooper.
And again, it's all triggered on the motion from the veer, right? It's all, for whatever reason, they're seeing and see. They watched Wilkinson in motion. As soon as he went in motion, you saw the linebacker move. You saw that up front defender move on the line right there with Daju Akarmo. They're keying on those backs, but in doing that, they're jumping off sides.
By the way, his brother Emmanuel, who plays for the Gophers, is a stud.
No question.
Emmanuel Carmo is a total stud. Ball's at the 22 now, 2nd and 2. Once again, Lamari Brown straight ahead inside the red zone, or the red area, whichever you prefer. Gain of 4 and a first down. Move the chains once again for SLP.
And that is just garden variety stuff when you can give Spring Lake Park short yardages. If you give them 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2, they got the whole playbook at their disposal. There's so much they can do. They can power you. They can take you on the outside. It's just really, really hard to stop Spring Lake Park when they get into those situations.
9th play of the drive coming up here, Tim. 1st and 10 from the 18. 4 first downs picked up on this drive alone for the Panthers. And this time, I think it's going to be a false start. Nope, timeout by Tony Patterson. He burns his last one before he can before something happens.
I guess use it or lose it, right?
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, and of course, I think Coach Patterson understands the need for this possession to be held to at worst maybe 3. You don't want to give up 7 here and get down 14-0. You're already the underdog.
Yeah, no doubt. And Spring Lake Park today, something we've talked about is their lack of Marquel Mitchell. The junior tailback is an absolute stud for them, averaging 6 yards a carry basically over the last 4 games. Sophomore running back and the future star. They just keep turning them out here. First Brown and now Mitchell. But Marquel Mitchell out for today's game due to injury. They expect him to be back in the future, but not available today. And so you're seeing guys like Lamari Brown and Tyler Wilkinson get more of the call.
Yeah, and I guarantee you Mitchell would much rather play than stand there and freeze with the hoodie on, no doubt about it. But this is running back high here at Spring Lake Park. They just seem to keep cranking him out, and he is another really talented player with speed. And that speed dynamic really adds to what Spring Lake Park wants to do.
And he's a big, powerful kid, too, for being just a sophomore.
Yeah, he can do everything. He can run between the tackles, short yardage, can do it all.
So Roach once again on the call for Brown. I thought Roach might run it more himself today, but he's been giving it to Lamari, and he's down to the 12. So a pickup of 6 on first down. Another positive play for Lamari Brown.
I love this push here, as I can see the lineman just basically grab Brown and push him forward. That was
Jackson
a really
Drum.
cool play to see. Jackson Drum just says, I'm going to drag you across the 10-yard line.
Lamari marches to the beat of Jackson.
Apparently so. He didn't get much choice on that one. He was along for the ride.
2nd and 4 now from the 12. Brown gets the call once more and tackled down after he picks up another first down at the 7-yard line. Grabbed up from behind there by Tavorian Thompson, who's pulling double duty.
Yeah, that's the thing about Cooper in general. It's not a huge team. It's not like they've got 80, 90 guys sitting over there on that sideline. So guys have to play both ways. And that's what adds to this. When you have injuries and then you have to play 3 times in 10 days, that lack of depth is when it really starts to show up, is right around now.
So inside of 5 minutes to go, second quarter. 1st and goal now from the 7. Roach. Brown, no, he pitches it wide for Wilkinson, and who walks into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown.
And Brown is kind of down on that play. He's getting up slow, so hopefully they can pop him up because he's had about 10 to 12 carries already in this game. He might be already tired looking for the ice bath, but that's why you do that. You run middle, running dive every time just to open up that pitch on the outside for Wilkinson. Mission accomplished for the Panthers, and they were able to get the easy look for the touchdown.
Well, it took them longer than they wanted to, but their first offensive touchdown comes with 4:47 left to go in the second quarter as Waldy is on to attempt the extra point right at the school, and it's good. So a 7-yard touchdown run by Tyler Wilkinson. Welcome back to him. He's been out most of the season, just his 2nd touchdown run, and he did just dance into the end zone, and hopefully Lamari Brown can maintain and stay in this game, but that's a killer right there. And the Panthers with a little more breathing room, Tim, as we enter halftime.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing by Spring Lake Park, breaking tendency right there. The Cooper Hawks were frozen as Roach kept that football. You watch that on the replay. The linebackers were just standing in position wondering, okay, is the quarterback going to run? Is he going to pitch? And they just didn't know what to do. And by the time that ball ends up in Wilkinson's hands, he's got all the space in front of him. Really good stuff from Spring Lake Park as the offense started to click. See, 1 o'clock starts on Saturday. It takes a little time sometimes, Bill.
I understand it. So that's an 11-play, 78-yard drive. They picked up 5 first downs on that drive, and that is the kind of methodical, clock-chewing drive we're used to seeing from the Panthers. So they'll do another low squib kick. This time fielded at the 17-yard line. Good return here by Samaje Young, who breaks out of a tackle. There's a flag that comes in. He runs out of bounds just shy of midfield, but I have a feeling this one is coming back.
Yeah, this could either be a hold on the up front guy, on the up man, or even a block in the back. That tends to be what you look for in these spots. We'll see if that's what they call. Yeah, it's a hold.
It is a hold. So if you're still keeping track at home, it's 8 penalties now for 55 yards.
Yeah, that is just
Cooper.
It's just been brutal stuff. I mean, you got to It's just, that's the stuff that drives you crazy. And that's, if you're Coach Tony Patterson, it's the kind of things that keep you up at night. And that's how you don't win football games. When you play teams like Spring Lake Park who are 8-0, you have to play near perfect, flawless football. You cannot put yourself behind the chains. You can't look at 1st and 15. You can't wipe away good kickoff returns with penalties. But that's what's happened to the Hawks here in this first half, and that's why they're trailing 14-0.
Right there, that wiped out, that basically cost them 16 yards back to the 33. So Tavorian Thompson gives to Davison, and he'll get a couple out to the 35. As they start at their own 33. So even with the penalty, that's their best starting field position of the day. However, they just make themselves difficult. You want that 16, 17 yards. You want to be at midfield against a defense like SLP's.
Yeah, because you can be a little more aggressive, and you can run the football. And obviously they're going to keep trying to run here for the rest of this half, but down 14-0, the playbook becomes a little bit smaller.
Thompson looking right, throwing on the swing pass, and Sawyer Thompson will shove Young out of bounds just across the 40 out to the 41, pickup of 6.
I actually love that play call. I'd like to see them do more of that. You saw how quickly that developed. It's basically just an extension of the running game. Throw it out to a player like Young and let him get out in the open field. Those little smoke routes, I think you should do a lot more of that if I'm Cooper.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's 3rd and 3. They got to get out to the 43-yard line. Hawks trailing the Panthers 14-0 here in the section semifinal. Davison threw a big hole inside of Panther territory down to the 48. A good burst for Amari Davidson as he picks up 12.
You see what happens when you get to short yardage situations? You can do a little bit more in the running game. Great job there by Davison finding the hole. And now they're across midfield, and once again, I think in 4-down territory.
And they're keeping the football out of the Panthers' hands as well. Yeah, definitely in 4-down territory. Once again, Davison on the call, running away from tacklers, dragging defenders down to the 42 as he picks up 6 on first down. He's looked impressive.
Yeah,
really hits that hole, doesn't he?
He's got some
not
skills.
Not a big guy either.
No, he's not big at all, but he's got a good first step, and he's got really good vision as he's able to work himself through the line, hits the hole at full speed. And these are some must-points drive for Cooper, I think, before halftime with three minutes to go.
I wonder if he almost kind of hides behind that big offensive line.
Not a bad idea.
He gets the call once more. Good penetration by the Panthers this time. First time we've really called the name of Jamal Smith tonight, but he got in there in a hurry and greeted him. And he limits him to a gain of 1.
Yeah, nice job there by Smith to get in the backfield quickly, but a good job by Davison to not take a loss, make something out of nothing there. And again, you get to 3rd down and about 2, and that's big. But now you gotta speed things up. You have no timeouts if you're Cooper, and you got 2.5 to go before halftime, and you still got 41 yards to go. You gotta move things along.
No doubt, the clock is a factor. As again, they've got 2 receivers right and left. Out of the shotgun, Thompson sends Young in motion, fakes to him, gives to Davison. And Davison will be close to a first down. He leans across, and he's got it. Gain of 3. Move the chains for the Cooper Hawks.
Get on the ball right now here if you're Cooper. You cannot be going and running to the coach and getting the call here. This is where I think Coach Patterson's got to have 2-3 plays called already for Thompson and get things moving. You got to go faster.
Yeah, the sugar huddle doesn't always work when you're inside of 2 minutes with no timeouts left. Maybe they'll go to the air here as they send Young in motion. High snap, give it to him on the jet sweep. Timing of the play wasn't great. Young hops over a defender and then gets labeled into the sidelines.
Don't think he got out of bounds, though, on that either, so that's going to keep the clock going as they wound that thing. So that's where, again, if you're Young, you got to get out of bounds, too.
Another good play by Sawyer Thompson, whose brother Peyton is a basketball star at Bethel, incidentally. 2nd and 5. Now it's Spring Lake Park that's going to take a timeout.
Wow, I'm confident Coach Patterson is maybe waving over a thank you there to Coach Stewart to get that timeout. But you got to like what they're doing.
Yeah, 8th play of the drive. And you wonder if SLP's trying to give themselves a chance and preserve a little clock for their offense.
It's maybe so, but I would also think you're probably saying, we got to just hold them off the scoreboard here. We have to know what we're trying to do. We're giving up some chunks here on the ground. Make sure that your defense is locked in here for this final minute 27. And also maybe to tell them, they might have to pass here at some point. So be ready, like for a play action, for a rollout, something like that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John Stewart, the Panthers head coach in his 8th season. Really impressive numbers. Got a nearly 6,800 win percentage, 51-24 in charge of this Panthers program.
That's not bad. They can take that.
2nd and 5 from the 32. Back to pass. Avoids the rush of Smith. Thompson trying to run out of a couple tackles. A big pile emerges, and he gets all the way down near first down yardage. He'll be about a yard shy, and now a little urgency from this Cooper team.
They got to go. Get on the ball. Clock is moving. It's 4th down. You got a minute to go.
9th play of the drive, and 8 of those plays have been runs. Thompson gives to Davison, who will get enough for the first down to the 26. Gain of 2.
That'll stop the clock enough to get the sticks moved, but again, you got to be on the ball here, and that's what they're trying to do.
10th play of the drive coming up. Good drive this from Cooper as they look to get on the scoreboard, trailing by a couple touchdowns.
Way too long. Taking way too long.
Thompson, 3-step drop. Looking, holding, slings a sidearm pass. Nice catch. Great adjustment on the play to the football there by Eric Larkins, but the clock continues to roll as he's tackled shy of the first down.
They have to come up and spike this thing. They got to clock it. They have got to clock this thing.
We'll see. 20 seconds left. Clock's still ticking, and they will. To stop the clock with 16 seconds left.
This is where when you don't have timeouts in your pocket, at the end of a half, it's just a killer, right? Because it takes away a lot of the options. Good pass there from Thompson to Larkins, but Larkins not able to get out of bounds, and now you basically have to throw to the boundary. You don't have much choices here. I know that you can get a first down and that'll stop the clock, but only briefly. So you have to work the boundary or you have to work end zone here in these final 16 seconds.
This drive started at their own 33, and remember, they were set back by a kickoff return penalty. 8 penalties in the half by Cooper has not helped their cause. 16 seconds to go, first half. Thompson looking left, airing it out to the end zone. It's a jump ball, and it's intercepted by Spring Lake Park. Picked off there in the end zone by Marcus Snyder, his 5th INT of the year.
Yeah, that was pretty easy to see. Marcus Snyder just playing center field, knowing they're going to have to take a stab at the end zone, and Thompson just heaves it up like it's a game of 500, and it's a jump ball situation, and that's a battle that 2 Spring Lake Panthers over the 1 Cooper Hawk is going to win, and that's a big turnover at the end. A good drive kind of goes for naught for the Cooper Hawks.
So Cooper with a pair of turnovers here in the first half, and the defense has come to play. 2 turnovers forced and no points allowed as they'll take the knee and just get us to this halftime break. Not the cleanest first half Spring Lake Park has ever played, but they go into the break with a 2-touchdown lead here at home in the section semifinals. 14-0 our score. We'll be back with highlights and more here from Panthers Stadium on North Metro TV. Spring Lake Park heading back to the field with a comfortable 14-0 lead here at halftime of the Class 5A Section 6 semifinal here at Spring Lake Park High School, Panther Stadium. Bill Hupp, Tim Anderson with you, and we look at the first half highlights. It started with a bang as a Navy SEAL dropped in to deliver the game ball, and that game ball slipped through the hands of the Cooper punter. Forced fumble, scoop and score for Sawyer Thompson, and SLP was off and running, but their offense didn't gain a first down in the first quarter. The second quarter, though, they got it rolling. It started with their defensive effort, couple sacks, and then eventually they would cash in as Tyler Wilkinson took the pitch and ran it in from 7 yards out to give them a 14-0 lead. Cooper managed to put together a little bit of a drive, but that drive would end with a leaping Marcus Snyder interception in the end zone at the end of the first half. And Tim, that's how our score is 14-0.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, I guess you could say, for the Spring Lake Park Panthers. I think defensively, you got to really like what you've done. You've given up some yards, but I think you've always tightened up when you've needed to. Offensively, you're right, a very shaky first quarter, but a much better second quarter. And again, a pretty efficient running game. You haven't depended on having to throw very much. You've just been handing it off to Lamari Brown, handing it off to Tyler Wilkinson, and just running your stuff. It's been an interesting first half for sure, but I think you'd like to see Coach Stewart clean things up here. I think he's looking at his players saying, like, hey, let's sustain a couple more drives here and really clean things up to finish this one off.
And needless to say, as SLP gets the football to start the second half, this drive is huge.
Oh,
because if the Panthers can get it, take it, punch it in, it's kind of game over at that point, most likely.
Yeah, when you start having to chase 3 scores if you're Cooper, and again, third game, 10 days, you're not deep as it is, you have some injuries, backup quarterback, that's not a good recipe for success.
Is it a controversial opinion to say that's too many for high school kids, 3 games in 10 days? It's just a lot with the schedule. And a great little fake here with Colin Welch, who races down the left sideline. Welch will not be caught. A kickoff return touchdown, and special teams continues to deliver for SLP.
Yeah, they're up 14-0 on special teams alone as they get a kick return touchdown. Nice block that sprung him to the outside, and normally these plays get called back at the high school level with holds and blocks in the back, but this was so well blocked by the Spring Lake Park Panthers, and they were able to spring Welch to the outside, and he was untouched once he hit the 35-yard line. A big play to start this second half.
Well, I thought they needed to march it down and punch it in, but I didn't think it would happen in one play as Wolde tacks on the extra point to make it 21-0. As we watch this again, it was a high kickoff fielded at the at the 10-yard line, so it was a 90-yard kickoff return for Colin Welch, and once he kind of broke out of that tackle, he was gone, barely touched, as he raced down the sideline in front of the Cooper bench.
They ran that, you see that little fake handoff? I think that was just enough to stop those up men for Cooper. And after that, he was gone. Took it to the outside and again went those last 60 yards, I think, without anybody putting a hand on him.
Second kickoff return touchdown of the year for the Panthers. And they will kick it away with the mountain even taller for the Hawks to climb. Remember, they were down in the first game 38-0 at half, so 14-0 is a much better look, but ultimately second half starting disastrously. And you know, John Stewart had probably some words to say to his team, who came out a little bit sluggish here on a Saturday afternoon. So Wolde will kick it off, and Cooper now, see, they found most of their success seemingly on the ground with the backup quarterback Thompson in, and we'll see if they decide to go more to the air as this is squibbed once more, fielded on the run by Young at his own 25, and he is pasted down at the 30-yard line. And that's where he'll start 1st and 10 as a flag has come in.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to get up with a high tackle like a horse collar, or if there was something extracurricular after the play. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be a block in the back or what, but this would be the 9th penalty if it goes on Cooper.
Face mask.
On the Panthers, okay.
So maybe that's what they got on the Young play, because it was a high tackle, and you wonder if somebody got inside the face mask to bring Young down. We'll take a look here. Yeah, right, man, maybe right there.
Yeah,
it looked like his head moved a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked close to me, but a face mask. So second penalty on SLP. Thompson gives to Amari Davison, who's hit and driven down just shy of midfield, the 49-yard line, a pickup of 4.
And what you need now if you're Cooper is you need an explosive play. Something that can swing the tide back your direction a little bit. So this is where a Davison 50-yard touchdown run or some kind of pass play that turns into something big, you kind of need that to go your way. But you do need to score fairly quickly.
Yeah, no doubt. Maybe try to get the ball to Samaje Young, who had just a single catch in that first half. Thompson instead keeps it on the ground with Davison, and he is snowed under and wrapped up and thrown down by Caleb Skelly and Marcus Snyder. No gain on the play.
And when you're not a threat to throw deep, like Thompson hasn't shown that he can efficiently throw the deep ball yet. And when that's the case, you can bring the safeties down. You have 8, 9, 10 guys in the box, and you're basically daring Cooper to throw it over the top. And if they're not going to do that, you're going to have more guys in the box than there are blockers, and you're going to be able to slow down Davison.
Yeah, I can't think of a pass play that they've attempted longer than 5 yards.
I mean, count the number of Panthers right here on your screen.
Thompson looking over the middle, throwing, good close and a good throw, and that's going to be a first down as he connects with Harris. And tackle on the play made by Colin Welch, but not before a pickup of 10, the first down.
And that's something Cooper has to see, right? So Coach Tony Patterson has to notice, here comes 10 guys in the box. I've got to throw it to keep this defense honest and to soften them up a little bit.
And especially with them being down by so much. 2 receivers near side. Thompson takes and gives to Davison, who dances away from one, but again, coming up and making the play, Caleb Skelly. There's a reason that kid leads the team in tackles. He's got 7 today, and he ropes him down after a gain of 2, up to 90 now for the season.
Got a nose for the football, just able to sniff it out and break blocks, get around people, get where he needs to go. You see him firing up the defense.
If you have a nose for the football, are you a Toucan Sam linebacker?
You know what? I'm going to write that down. That was not bad. That was one of your, I don't know if that was your best one, but I like that one. I'm going to write that one down. Good job, Bill.
21-0. Spring Lake Park leads Cooper. Ball inside the 40-yard line. Rain has started to fall again, as this time Davison's got nowhere to go and he's stacked up for no gain.
Yeah, it's a tough spot because if you are going to get rain and drizzle, it's not great for a team that doesn't like to pass much anyway.
And so not great for ball security either.
Really not. So this is a really tough spot for the Cooper Hawks. And again, you're in a passing down. Let's see what this defense does. They go basically with Snyder as a single high safety. Now they actually switch that out and bring Warner as more the back safety.
Showing blitz in the A gap as Thompson barks out the signals. Back to pass, 3-step drop, airing out down the left sideline, and he connects with his receiver, but it's well out of bounds. And so it'll be 4th down.
And not a bad ball, but again, just a little too much air, leading him a little too far. Good route by Ashton Harris, but not able to stay on the boundary with the throw.
Too much air under that, clearly.
Yep.
As he ends up on the track, and so they're going to decide to play field position and punt it away.
Yeah, it's only because it's 3rd down and 8, right? You don't feel like you have a lot of confidence to find an 8-yard play there, so that's why you'd punt it away. But when you're down 21-0 and you're chasing, I don't know.
Yeah, you feel like almost every 4th down feels like a go-for-it situation. High snap, they manage to handle it. Welch will fair catch and then let it run into the end zone. So it's a touchback for Cooper.
Yeah, you only gain about, 20 yards, 18 yards at net right there.
If you don't get it. Yeah. No, I'm surprised they sent the punting unit on as well, and then it didn't work out ultimately because the touchback happened.
Yeah, if you cough and corner it, like if you trust your punter enough to drop it inside the 5, great, right? But we haven't really seen evidence of that from the punting game and the special teams of Cooper to be able to pull something off that precise.
No, and that's very few in high school can do that, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
So Nolan Roach goes back to work under center for the Panthers from his own 20-yard line. Give to the first man through. That's Lamari Brown. Good push from the offensive line, and he picks up 6. Now that, Tim, is SLP football. 6 yards and a cloud of dust on first down.
And it's been really meat and potatoes. They have been running a ton with the fullback. They've been running a lot of dive today, just keeping it real simple. Not showing you a ton of eye candy here, not moving those veers in motion. They're just going straight up the middle.
I think partly because they don't need to necessarily. I'm
Correct.
surprised that E.J. Monluo hasn't been more involved in the run game. And just as I say that, he gets the pitch. This play is strung out, though, big time. And they lost all 6 that they gained on first down.
We lost our cameraman right there, too, as he was totally deked there. And so was I for a second. Watch all the fakes here. There's one. There's a pitch. And you're right, Monluo just a little bit too slow to get rolling. Good pursuit by the Cooper Hawks.
Tavorian Thompson. He's an even better defensive player than he is
I think so.
A quarterback, as he causes a 5-yard loss there.
He's got to be getting close to getting gassed here a little bit, too, having to play both directions.
So the football rests on the SLP 21-yard line as we tick inside of 7 minutes left in the third. Roach throws, and this time he manages to connect with his wide receiver, Caden Conkler. First completed pass to Conkler in 3 attempts. It gained 7 out past the 25 to the 27.
And again, looking to just soften something up for Cooper. Cooper looking to see a tendency breaker, and now you've seen 2 in a row for Spring Lake Park. They run that little pitch to Monluo, and now they run that little short out to Conklin.
4th and 3.
Interesting.
And they're going to go for it, or at least they're going to line up. Might this be a hard count?
They're trying to get a jump.
And I don't blame them for trying. They also have a 3-touchdown lead. They are going to go for it. Brown straight up the gut. He's going to be stopped up short.
Wow.
Cooper turns him over on downs, and they take over at the Spring Lake Park 28-yard line.
The only thing I can say is they had so much confidence in their defense to be able to hold down Cooper that they went for this deep in their own zone. Up 21-0. I feel like, you play the field position game and you punt it away. 4th and 1 is different from 4th and 3.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we were surprised when Cooper didn't go for it on 4th down, and then we're surprised when SLP goes for it.
Yeah, just that's file that in the weird statistical anomaly of a football game that you don't expect to see.
So they'll take over at the SLP 29, will the Hawks. And Thompson, who's got to be getting tired, like you said, comes out with 4 receivers in the pattern. Send Young in motion. Low snap, fakes, throws to Young. On the wide side of the boundary, makes a man miss. Absolutely shakes Marcus Schneider out of his shoes. And they are close to a first down to the 20.
They need to do more of that, because that's when their offense looks like sharp, looks like it's clicking. There's not a lot of hesitation. It's really decisive, and again, it's a safe pass play. It's an extension of the running game. Give the ball to your athletes.
Gain of 8 officially on that play. Ball on the 21. Davison gets the call. He follows his blockers, and he's met and driven back. They'll give him a generous spot across the 20 to the 19, and they give him a first down. So move the chains after the gain of 2.
And again, the Panthers going for it deep in their own zone, basically because I think they believe they've got the defense to stop this Cooper Hawks offense. Cooper trying to score quickly here.
Panthers have scored a touchdown in all 3 quarters. Only 1 offensive touchdown, 2 special teams touchdowns. And are we going to have a timeout by Cooper right here? No. Officials timeout, as Ashton Harris has to go out, much to his chagrin.
Maybe is that a wardrobe malfunction, or was there something there that they needed to see replaced?
I have no idea.
That's interesting.
I have no idea. But it's 1st and 10 from the 19 now. SLP's defense trying to bow their necks. Thompson rolling right, throwing, and it's a safe pass play down to the 10. catch made, gain of 9 on first down.
That's Young again, and I would continue to find him on short routes, right? Because look at this. This is just a little 7-yard run, little throwing pattern.
And they had the running back in front to block for Thompson as well.
Absolutely. It's a one-read play for Thompson as well. It's easy. It's like, okay, once he breaks, throw it.
So, gain of 8. 2nd and 2 now from the 11. Davison again gets the call. He runs out of a tackle and gets his way inside the 10 down to the 8. Gain of 3.
We talk about tendency breakers. Throwing now on 2 consecutive first downs of the Cooper Hawks, setting up second shorts where they can run Davidson and get first downs.
And ultimately that picks up another first down. So now they have it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Be a nice time for another Panther turnover if they can force one. They've already forced 2 today. Thompson checking the sideline. Gives to Davidson, who runs out of an arm tackle. Davidson near the goal line, reaching! And he's marked down just short. Down at the half-yard line after a pickup of 7.5.
Time is moving very quickly in this third quarter, but this is really good stuff from Cooper, taking advantage of the short field that was given to him in a mix of pass and run. That time Davison got some room.
So 2nd and goal now from the 1-yard line. And I like the play calling on this drive. Now they got the full house behind that big offensive line as Davidson gets it and walks in for a touchdown. Shutout over for the Spring Lake Park defense as Amari Davidson, just like he did in their first meeting, has a rushing touchdown against Spring Lake Park.
So they take advantage of the short field. They drive it down quickly, get the score that they needed, desperately needed.
And we'll see if they kick the extra point or go for 2.
Looking like that swinging gate here that we might see as they try to go for 2. Now I have no idea what we're doing.
we're lining up for an extra point.
Felt like nobody knew what they wanted to do there, but there is time to switch it.
Kelvin Kelton on, and it's blocked.
And that can be returned.
Picked up here by Sawyer Thompson, and he blows it down.
Yeah.
By the way, Thompson was racing for his 2nd touchdown.
Or the extra point there. That, you saw that in the NFL a couple weeks ago. A weird, that doesn't happen very often, but you did see that a couple weeks ago in the NFL where somebody ran it back and got 2 points on a blocked extra point. And there you see the run in from Davison again, getting that touchdown, 21-6. There's the block again. No air on that kick. That's one of the big issues for the kicking game. You got to be able to get that one up in the air as the blockers just put a hand up, able to get an easy blocked extra point. Special teams a little dicey for the Cooper Hawks. We've had the punt, we've had the kickoff return for a touchdown, blocked extra point.
It's a bingo card of special team struggles, unfortunately.
We would call that the disappointment trifecta, is what that is right there.
Yes. So with 3:05 to go third quarter, 21-6 now, Spring Lake Park leads in this section semifinal. And return the last kickoff they fielded for a touchdown. We'll see if can create similar magic here as Welch backs up and fields at his own 5-yard line. This time more of a traditional return. We got a block in the back, so whatever he does here will be negated. And he's eventually tackled out across the 20. As a block in the back at the 15 will have them deep back in their own territory.
Yeah, now there's a little bit of urgency here for the Panther offense, because if you get stopped and have to punt it deep in your own zone, you give some life to this Cooper Hawks offense. All the more reason why I think that 4th down decision is going to be a little puzzling to me. But if you can get a couple first downs here, get this drive rolling, you could really eat some clock if you're Spring Lake Park, because you're going to have to go a long way.
So ball placed down the 8-yard line, and that's where they'll start 1st and 10.
2:57 to go here in this third quarter.
Brown following the blocks of E.J. Monluo and others. Minimal gain Out to the 12, maybe the 13-yard line.
I actually think they've started to bottle up Brown pretty well here at Cooper. They're forcing Spring Lake Park to have to come up with some different stuff.
He typically has one that he busts up the gut, and they've held him to, 3-4 yards a carry, maybe.
That helmet's seen better days. Goodness gracious.
Oh yeah, there's a few.
There's no paint on that one.
A few chipped up helmets for sure. 2nd and 5 now from the 13. Brown kind of lost his footing as he got a first down yardage out to the 21, but it's a nice gainer of 8. Move the chains.
That's exactly what the Panthers need to do. And if it is 10 yards in a cloud of dust and you run a 10-11 play drive, that's going to take you into the 4th quarter. I mean, this is exactly what you want to do.
Easily, yeah. I mean, and I think John Stewart would prefer that, just the classic ball control drive where they're facing 3rd and short every time.
It's back to your roots here if you're the Panthers.
Roach keeps it this time. Falls forward for 2. Hasn't kept it much himself today, but
I'm with
good
you on
ball
that.
security for him.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Bill, that's been the thing that I think has surprised me the most today, is just how little they have called Roach's own number today, that he's been content to just hand it off to the fullback and hand it off on to Wilkinson on pitch plays and not be as much of a factor in the running game.
They haven't really gotten Monluo involved either. Of course, last time I said that, they pitched it to him. And we'll see what happens this time. This time Thompson's in. He gets a pitch, cuts it back upfield, and it's a big gainer. Thompson fighting his way out across the 40 up to the 42. 19 yards for Sawyer Thompson, who's getting it done on defense and offense and special teams.
Sawyer Thompson might be a candidate for player of the game right now coming in, and this is what using the veer can do for you. I'm a little surprised they haven't used those outside backs as a little bit more in some of these pitch plays. That time they used Thompson, he's able to find some room on the outside.
So the football rests at the 42 of Spring Lake Park. Maybe time for one more play. 42 seconds and counting to go. Ball's on the ground. Brown lost it on the exchange with Roach, but they fell back on it. No gain officially, and Panthers get away with one right there.
That'll probably take us to the end of the quarter. And yeah, it does look like things have been a little bit off between Roach and Brown, because we've had a couple trips, we've had a couple fall downs at the line of scrimmage. It's been a little interesting.
PJ Jackson, who came in with 2 sacks and 5 tackles for loss, the one to come in and punch that out. 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah, let's run one more play. I like it.
This will be the last play of the half. 10 seconds left. If they decide to even snap it.
They don't have to.
I don't think they're going to, as time runs out here in the 3rd quarter. A pretty even 3rd quarter, each team scoring a touchdown, and we go to the 4th quarter with the Panthers on top of the Hawks, 21-6 here on North Metro TV.
Lino Lakes is the gateway to the metro area, just minutes north of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Conveniently located on I-35W, this growing city still maintains its North Country feel. Lino Lakes is a safe, fun, and affordable community that values its award-winning schools. Outdoor lovers will discover miles of hiking, biking, and water trails. Growing businesses will find premier development opportunities with great freeway visibility and ready to help your businesses grow. Come to live, work, and play in Lino Lakes.
(21-6) our score as we start the 4th quarter of play here. Bill Hupp, Tim Anderson. On a Saturday afternoon, a kind of rainy and overcast and cool Saturday afternoon.
Just feels like football, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does, especially playoff football in Minnesota. 2nd and 10 from the 42. Give up the gut plowing forward out across the 45. A steady dose of Lamari Brown today with Markel Mitchell sidelined, the junior tailback. It's been a lot of Wilkinson and Thompson on the edges and Brown up the middle.
And it's, you know, it hasn't been phenomenal offensively. They've scored 14 of their 21 points on special teams.
3rd and 6. Might this be 2-down territory for Spring Lake Park? 3rd and 6. First man through, not much. Just a couple as Brown is thrown back. P.J. Jackson has been the best defensive player for Cooper here today on the inside. A stout nose tackle in there, and he just grabbed Brown and flung him back. And sure enough, the punting unit comes on.
Yeah, not having Mitchell has taken some of the imagination out of the offense for Spring Lake Park. And
yeah, they've scored 1 offensive touchdown today, Tim.
They haven't, and it's just, other than that one drive, they haven't moved it all that well.
No.
And the Hawks have done okay defensively. Now they're going to get a chance to get the ball back, and a score here from Cooper, and things get interesting pretty quickly.
Yeah. Say this is a pretty big drive as Snyder sends it away to Young, who fields it at his own 21. Couple slick moves and finally dragged down. Good defensive coverage down there by Keelan Conklin.
Yeah, this was a big play too, because Young made a couple guys miss, and that's a nice little shoestring tackle by Conkler.
I should say Caden Conkler, his brother Keelan, plays at the University of Sioux Falls.
I just thought you were just having fun with K names.
He was a good player in his own right, obviously, playing now in the Northern Sun. So Tavarian Thompson comes out to lead his offense with Davison next to him.
I think Thompson's at his best when he's throwing these little quick outs at the, you know, at the line of scrimmage to Young.
1st and 10 now. Back to pass. He wants it deep down the left sideline. He's got a man out there. It's caught. Racing away, Ashton Harris. Touchdown. 83-yard touchdown strike from Thompson to Harris. And Cooper has made this a ball game once more.
And just as you say that, he throws a dime 50 yards down the field to Ashton Harris, and Harris got a step on the defense of Spring Lake Park as they had taken that top off the defense. No back safety help. It was one-on-one. Harris had all the room down the sidelines, and just like that, if they get this 2-point conversion, it's a 1-possession game.
An absolute dime, like you said, and Harris, using his speed, just blazed past the SLP defense. They are going to run for 2. Thompson, well, that was as discombobulated as it gets.
This is the problem, too, with the backup quarterback, is how many times has he practiced this swinging gate? You know, how many times has he seen this formation and knows what to run? You know, I've seen some teams run that. There's a look at this pass, too, by the way. That is absolutely perfect. Right in stride, phenomenal throw.
And Harris almost tripped himself trying to slip away, but yeah, he just toasted Colin Welch out there. And Welch, despite trying to trip him up, Harris ultimately too speedy, and then that play never had a chance.
See, and sometimes I think coaches are too smart for their own good. Sometimes just, you know, stand up and kick an extra point, or if you're going to go for 2, call your best 2-yard play and go for that.
Thompson's a big dude. When you snap it with the swinging gate to him, just have him run it in. You know, because he's going to be able to bowl over most defenders from 2 yards out. So 21-12.
And it could be 21-14 if you just kick 2 extra points, you know?
Special teams, that may be the theme. Well, that is the theme of the game so far.
Well, it's 14-0 on special teams in favor of Spring Lake Park. I mean, you think about this, you know, if you play a sound special teams game, Cooper could be winning this football game.
Yeah. Certainly a far cry from the 44-12 result here in Week 5 as Colin Welch stands back to await this kickoff. And we've got offside, I guess, or false start on the kickoff.
Somebody leaves a little early. That doesn't happen very often. Usually all you got to do is wait for the kick.
First penalty of the second half on the Hawks after they had 9 in the first half.
I'll tell you what, you got to tip your cap to Tony Patterson and this Cooper Hawks team. You come out here on 3 days prep. You were blown out the last time you played in this game in this stadium, and here you are in the fight on a cold Saturday. Again, when you go to halftime down 14-0 and you've made some mistakes, it's pretty easy to just be like, you know what, it's cold, it's rainy, it's maybe time to go home. They have not done that. They have not folded the tent here. They have played hard. And if you're Spring Lake Park, you're maybe taking your opponent a little too lightly here, and you might need to saddle up.
Yeah, I mean, now would be the time to dial in the focus as Welch will take this kickoff at his own 12 and charge straight ahead, slaloming his way through the defense. Colin Welch breaking tackles. Welch forced to the outside and forced out of bounds, but not before another impressive return of 55 yards into Cooper territory.
This game has come down to 5 plays, 5 special teams plays. There's another example of it right there. A huge kick return for Welch. He has the touchdown already today. You have the blocked extra point, the missed 2-point conversion, and you have the missed punt. 5 plays, which could translate for a win for Spring Lake Park as Welch gets another nice return.
Yeah, I mean, he has set his offense up with great field position at the Cooper 37-yard line. 10-10 to go. And even from here, Spring Lake Park can grind the clock down. Roach back to pass, tucks it and runs, and sacked. Taken down out there by number 52, Abel Nason. Second sack. Could maybe use a new helmet.
Yeah, I would say a new helmet, some new decals. A little bit of everything.
A sack and a loss of 2 after Roach. Well, Roach may have just been a runner there. If that's the case, it's a 6 tackle for loss, but
we need to see some imagination here from the Panthers. I think that was what they wanted, to try to come up with a little something different there. They have to keep looking for some different options.
Turn and pitch on the wide toss. Tyler Wilkinson bouncing it outside, and he's flung out of bounds just shy of the first down marker inside the 30 to the 29. A nice gainer of 10 right there on second down. And once again, Wilkinson making things happen with the ball outside of the numbers.
Yeah, I'd like to give him more chances in space. I just feel like he's only really touched the ball 4 or 5 times, but every time he does, good things seem to happen.
So 3rd down and 2. You figure it's Brown up the middle territory right here.
He's
clock is stopped.
Not lined up, though, in that spot, I don't think, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is right there, yes.
Hand to the ground right behind Roach. And sure enough, he gets it. He bounces it outside himself this time and then ducks down just shy of the 15. He needed 2. He picked up 11.
This is the hope for the Spring Lake Park Panthers, right? That if you pound it up the middle enough, you wear down this Cooper Hawk defense to the point where late in the game, there's just not enough energy for the Hawks to bring this big kid down.
Well, and maybe they need to try the edges more often because the middle has been plugged up by guys like P.J. Jackson. So the football is now at the 18-yard line of the Panthers as they drive following the big kickoff return by Colin Welch. Brown once again up the gut inside the 15, driving his legs forward down to the 12.
And you're going to watch this Cooper Hawk defense try to yank at that ball every time they get a chance. If they can get Brown to be held up a little bit while somebody comes in and punches like they did with Roach back in the first half, that's what they want to try to do here. They need a turnover. You can't give up a score.
So the football at the 12-yard line, 2nd and 4. Clock continues to roll now inside of 8:15 left in the football game. Receivers right and left. Looks like it's a new man in the backfield there as Caleb Skelly gets it up the gut, and the big linebacker rumbles down inside the 10 all the way to the 6.
It's all hands on deck for the Panthers right now. They call Skelly in to be the fullback and take these dive plays.
And now they're adding some tempo as Skelly remains in their tailback. Roach gives to Skelly once again, driving the legs forward. Stopped up short. They'll mark him down at the 2 after a pickup of 4.
Definitely sensing that they have a chance to put this thing away right now. You're right, with some tempo, with some pace, some tendency breakers, as we talked about, some imagination. Good things happening.
And trying to wear down this Cooper defense,
no
like
doubt.
You said. Roach Back to Skelly once more to the goal line, to the end zone. Driven back, no sign yet. The ref's coming to talk. And they are going to mark him indeed short.
Yeah,
It'll be third down.
I thought they were going to try to push him across right there, but they didn't do it. Now they're going to try to get up and run again.
Tight formation, Conkler in on the line, as well as Truckenbrod, the tight end. Skelly, the lone setback. And good penetration by Cooper. He's driven back for a loss.
See, now
That's
this
where
is
I
interesting.
would love to have seen a pitch to the outside, fake the dive.
You're running the same play every time. And again, you're running it with a guy who hasn't carried the ball much all game. You're asking him late. Now we got a player down for the Hawks.
Yeah, down flat on his back is an offensive lineman.
Take another look here, and he's looks like he's in some pain here. So this is for Spring Lake Park. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we can't see a number, and so the
athletic trainer Sarah Boo and the folks here at Twin Cities Orthopedics out there on the field to take care of the injured Panther.
And there's a lot happening in those scrums, right?
100%.
The amount of kind of just pounded up the gut football. It's like a continuous Oklahoma drill, if you know.
At fast tempo as well, right? You're running these every 20 seconds, so you're asking these big linemen to get up and and it's tough. And so right there, clearly somebody got sandwiched. And like I said, the good news is, looks like we're starting to see some movement here.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell if that's one of the taller offensive linemen. Okay, it is.
It is.
It is big number 71, Gavin Christensen, 6'5", 233, and good to see him up and walking off under his own power.
And that might tell me that maybe he got the wind knocked out of him too a little bit, because that sometimes can happen. The way he was able to get up and walk off on his own is encouraging. The way he's holding his stomach tells you maybe he got hit there.
What do you do on 4th and 2?
I mean, I don't want to run it up the middle. I'll tell you that. I don't know if I want to do that. I'd like to maybe get the quarterback out in space, maybe get that line shifting a little bit.
Let's see what they do here as Brown is back in at tailback. Roach back to pass, throws, touchdown! A 2-yard touchdown pass to Caden Conkler. The last thing they expected. And Spring Lake Park takes advantage of the long kickoff return and punches it in, 37-yard drive. And they've got a 15-point lead pending the extra point.
And that is exactly what I meant. Don't run it up the middle here. Don't do that. You had an offensive lineman just go out of the game, so you're not going to ask a backup lineman to come in and do some run blocking. So you run something quick, a safe little slant route for Conkler.
And Wolde adds the extra point to make it 28-12.
And that's all about timing. It's a one-step drop for the quarterback, Roach, and he was just able to turn and fire knowing that slant route was going to happen.
And Conkler is such a big body in there that he was able to effectively block out and just make the catch. Simple pattern, simple play. And now Spring Lake Park, with their 4 touchdowns, has scored just about every possible way you can. They've run it in, thrown it, kickoff return, and also a block punt that led to a scoop and score.
Yeah, if you're playing football bingo cards here today, you're getting a lot of spaces filled. You could probably win the coverall at this point. It's been pretty impressive. But again, not the cleanest game in the world, but yet here Spring Lake Park is with a comfortable lead late in the 4th quarter.
Coach's dream, right? Plenty to point out on tape and clean up in practice, but you've got effectively a 3-score lead here with just 6:15 left. So that'll probably about do it, as this one is driven low, fielded at the 16-yard line by Young, who is a fun guy to watch return kickoffs. Just kind of swallowing back and forth. We do have a penalty flag.
Yeah, Harris doesn't like the call, but they're going to get him, I think, for a block in the back or a hold, and he didn't love that, but that's clearly what they saw.
Yeah, he has not been a fan of a few calls today.
No, a lot of times the players aren't. It's always interesting how that works, but
some other local scores in the area while they announce this. Elk River leading Cambridge Isanti 46-22. Minneapolis South defeated St. Louis Park 21-14. Blindside blocked the call.
Yep.
St. Thomas rolled over Apple Valley 39-13. No update, at least so far, on the Armstrong game.
Well, the internet service isn't real strong. Oh, no, they're at Armstrong, aren't they? Or are they at Buffalo? They're at Buffalo. Yeah, the internet service isn't real strong out there.
It might not have started yet either.
That was supposed to be a 1 o'clock start.
Started at 2, okay. Back to pass, flushed and sacked. Third sack of the day for Spring Lake Park, as they can now pin their ears back and get after this quarterback.
Yeah, we got a lineman down on that one too, as it looks like it's Jackson who is going to be slow to get up, I think. I got to double check that number, but that was 68, I apologize. So that's Xavier Tejada, who is down at the moment for the Cooper Hawks. And this is, again, what I look at. And we talked about this right at the beginning of the second half. We had the kickoff return, but is it right to play 3 games in 10 days? And, you know, they've certainly gone away with it in 6A. They still have this old section system in 5A. His cords are flying all over this place now all of a sudden. I mean, I'm getting attacked here in the press box, but you know, these guys are so big and so strong, and they play a lot of different kinds of football than they used to play, and, you know, a lot of running, and you know, especially with the lack of depth a team like Cooper has, I just think it is such a disadvantage to play that much in 10 days. These are very physically taxing games.
Yeah, and you just wonder, you know, in other states that have more schools, not every team makes the playoffs, right? In Illinois, you have to be 5-4 to make the playoffs. You play 9 regular season games, and you got to be over 500 to even make the playoffs. So it's one of those things where in Minnesota they have everyone make the playoffs, but then you play a Friday, Tuesday, and then Saturday, and it just seems like an awful lot to ask of the kids. As the ball rests on the 7 on 2nd and 15, back to pass, throwing in the in route, and a good catch made. It'll be enough for a first down, I think, or close to it. Yep, move the chains.
Thompson's been a lot better in this second half throwing it. I think
his confidence.
Yeah, his mechanics still aren't phenomenal. He's got that big rear back and throw kind of thing, but he has delivered some really nice passes in this second half for the Hawks.
Yeah, Yanni Brown, the target on that one, as they're clearly going to the air, down 2 scores. 3-step drop over the middle on the crossing route to Young. Dragged down by Thompson, and chance now for Spring Lake Park to get their 15th team interception of the season with the ball in the air so much. Gain of 7 on that play out to the 29.
And you're right, they're in passing mode the rest of the way as they sit in shotgun, so should be pretty predictable here, and see what they want to do with defensively.
You say that, and they give it to Amari Davison, and he's flung down.
And there's a late, I think, did we get a late flag there? Yeah, personal foul.
That was not a smart play there by Chase Warner, who kind of dove over the pile.
I think he's saying he got pushed into it, he's trying to say, but that's not what the referees are going to say.
As a personal foul penalty on SLP. I think
that's number 8, Chase Warner. Yeah,
I think Ashton Harris may have shoved him in the back.
He might have.
Him. I think he was coming that way, and then Harris just made sure he went in.
I agree. He was kind of coming in out of control. He wasn't coming in like a guy trying to lower a hit. So it makes me think he was pushed.
Back to pass now. And Gemlo and company are going to sack him. Gemlo was in there, but ultimately it was number 85, Braden Hemquist, with his 3rd sack of the season. And now Cooper is going to start taking timeouts. You see how big Thompson is, though. Hemquist was like wrestling down a steer at the rodeo, trying to just grab him and throw him down, and Thompson was fighting it all the way.
Thompson's an athlete. I'll tell you, he's a big, strong kid.
He's good on defense, too. So 28-12, timeout Cooper with 4:20 left to play.
And it's a lot to ask a backup, too, not to interrupt you there, but when you have a quarterback like Van Voorst who's played all season and then he's out, and now all of a sudden they look at Thompson and say, you got 3 days to get ready for the 8-0 team who's pretty good defensively. That's a lot to ask for a kid, and for him to step up and play as well as he has. That helmet might be on eBay one day. That thing is absolutely chewed up.
Grind indeed.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
they just gotta get that kid a new lid.
We gotta call the equipment guy.
So 2nd and 14 now from the 40 after that sack, 4th of the day for Spring Lake Park's defense. Back to pass, flushed, make that 5 sacks. And now Spring Lake Park's pass defense is just eaten, including number 53 there for the Panthers in the form of Isaac Olson. We've called his name a couple times today.
And the thing is that the line isn't going to hold up that long, especially when the defense can pin their ears back. You can't sit in the pocket. That ball's got to come out. 1, 2, 3, ball's got to come out. And a little bit too long for Thompson that time, and he had to eat that. This defense is going to keep coming.
3rd and 19, the down and distance from the 35. 28-12, 2 down territory right here. Hit as he throws, and Thompson dives at it. Good pressure there from Jamal Smith. Not a name we've called a lot today for his production, but Smith in on the pressure there, and he hit Thompson's arm as he threw.
It speaks to the depth of the defense of Spring Lake Park that Jamal Smith can have, quiet game like this, and the defense can still be as stout as it has been. But Smith is a terrific player.
Yeah, Cooper, I believe, just burned its 2nd timeout with basically the game here on the line. Got to get to the 46 of Spring Lake Park to keep their season alive. Spring Lake Park would improve to 9-0 on the season. They were 5-0, a perfect 5-0 against section opponents this year, of which Cooper is one. Cooper season would end at 3-7.
They have really, Cooper has played hard today. Coach Tony Patterson's got a lot to feel good about here, I would think. His kids showed up, battled in this second half, and made this interesting.
For sure. After that 83-yard touchdown bomb, the touchdown pass, they got within 21-12, but like you said, those 5 special teams deep plays for one reason or another is going to be the difference in this game. 4th and 19, 3:31 to play. Thompson, back to pass. Max protect, he gets it to Young. Young trying to dance free. He's tackled at midfield. He got 15, he needed 19, and the ball goes back to the Panthers.
Yeah, defense stepped back out and played coverage that time. A little bit of an umbrella look defensively. They just kind of gathered at the 50 and just said, don't let anybody get past that. So Young had room, and then, but then after that, he wasn't able to make any progress because they were able to rally to the football.
So Roach goes back under center. As they take over at midfield, Lamari Brown, 2 yards in a cloud of turf.
Those were those rubber pellets come popping up at you. It's tough to walk on the field with those things, don't you? Even if you don't, it's like, I like to think the shoes are airtight, but yet I got a million of those things in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, a couple bodies slow to get up.
And this is again where
they gotta be tired.
Yeah, just gassed. You're playing both directions, especially right there. That's 56 PJ Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And he's playing everywhere. And you just at the end of the game, how many snaps you've played? It's cold. It's wet. You just gotta not have a whole lot in the tank here.
Yeah, and he's down on a knee on the sideline. 2nd and 8, clock running. Cooper with a timeout remaining. Spring Lake Park hasn't used any of their 6 today.
And I don't anticipate they will. I think they want to just run this all the way down.
Tim, you'll have post-game interviews with Sawyer Thompson and Colin Welch, the kickoff returner.
That's our goal, obviously, as long as they don't run from us. Is we're going to try to get them after the game.
Yeah,
we'll
you
try
got
to
to
get
be
them
steady on that turf, Tim.
Yeah.
Cooper expends its last timeout.
We'll probably take off down there in a second and see if we can tackle them ourselves. That's our goal. I've sent one of our camera guys and also myself try to go down there and see if we can't
Maybe bring the mac and cheese down with
you. Maybe we'll entice them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like, hey, we don't have cutlery at the moment, but go ahead and just bury your face into that. That'll work.
Oh, well.
But it's been a lot of fun, Bill. It's our first time working together, and
it's
been great.
Yeah, very much so. And you can normally hear Tim on QCTV. Does a lot of games with the great Steve Thompson and Jim Erickson. What is Jim's second best sport after hockey, do you think?
He can do pretty much anything.
Good at all of them, right?
I think he could probably go to a some kind of craft fair or something like that and do that, and he'd be great at it.
Jim Erickson calls like crocheting.
Yeah, boy, that could be something. That would be something to watch for sure. But yes, teaching at Anoka, I spend a lot of time up in that area, and so but it's a lot of fun for me to come back down here. I spent a lot of time in the Spring Lake Park area for years, calling games for Fridley back in my old days, but it's a lot of fun to be down here at this really cool stadium. It's such a fun place to watch a football game.
Yeah, there's a reason they host state quarterfinals here. They hosted a soccer one the other day. They'll host a football one coming up, I believe, a 6A football semifinal. Roach, and that is the Centennial bracket, so the Cougars might try to extend their season in a couple games here in not far from that. That would virtually be a home game for the Cougars, as that one just gains a couple, and it brings up 4th and 3. Cooper cannot stop the clock again, so Nolan Roach will take his sweet time here.
And a first down here would put a wrap on it.
Yeah, pretty vanilla offense, not much on the tape for Buffalo or Robbinsdale Armstrong. As Brown tail the tandem, and now they're going to burn a timeout.
Yeah.
Broadcasters, Chris, you said they weren't going to take a single timeout, and here we are.
They take the timeout here, I think, and you saw Nolan Roach kind of look and point to himself, say, yeah, okay, maybe I missed something there, or my bad, or I didn't get him up to the line fast enough, or I need to move a little quicker.
He looks like a pretty confident kid for a junior. Like, he looks like he's got good command of this offense.
There's a lot of juniors in skill positions on this roster.
Yeah.
Like, if you look around, I mean, they've got some pieces here that you really like.
But the thing about, Spring Lake Park, we kind of looked at it in the prep as we got ready for this game, but 8 sophomores 2 years ago that are now 3rd and 4th year starters, right? So this is a group that, including Lamari Brown, this is a group that's experienced, like we said, that's veteran. Brody Gemlo started since he was a sophomore, and they're actually going to decide to put it away coming out of that timeout.
Makes total sense.
My point being that Spring Lake Park was building to this season. Now they're playing a schedule similar to the one they played 2 years ago because they're in a different section. And it's paying off. This is a team that came in.
We got flags flying here. Did somebody jump? Somebody offsides? It looks like somebody moves early here for SLP. They'll back him up.
That's what it looked like. The offense is putting up 35 points a game, the defense allowing just under 11.
So the defense has done their thing today.
Their average margin of victory this year was 24. So, again, they're going to come away with this not feeling like they played anywhere close to their best, but, still more than likely a 16-point win and relatively comfortable, all things considered. We'll see if they face Buffalo or Armstrong in the section final next week. Young fields it at his own 12, moving to the left, got room to run, forced out of bounds finally into his own bench. Run out there by a guy who's played really well today for the Panthers in Braden Hemquist.
Yeah, he's come up and made some plays, and again, their special teams across the board has been fantastic for Spring Lake Park. And again, when you get special team scores early in the game like they've got, it does give you a little room to be vanilla, I suppose.
It does keep it simple.
Yeah, it gives you more options. And again, the special teams was really the key today. They won this game for the Panthers.
No doubt, all 3 phases contributing. As Thompson goes back to pass, throws over the middle, nearly intercepted. Oh, it should have been picked off probably by Chase Warner. He's another guy who's been everywhere on that field.
And Warner might have had a lot of room to the near side of the field if he gets this pick, because there's not a lot of people around him if he's able to make that interception.
He was zipped pretty good by Thompson. Beckham Van Voorst, again, the regular starter, missed the game. Foot in a walking boot as Thompson gets hit from behind by Jamal Smith, and Smith coming off that left edge has been a menace the last couple drives.
Yeah, he's starting to enter the chat. You can see Thompson was like, that one hurt. That smarts when you get hit on the throw. That'll take your shoulder out of whack in a hurry, and Thompson, you can see, just kind of stretching it out with Coach Patterson. Thompson's going to appreciate the tub, I think, at the end of this one for sure. Whatever it is, hot, cold, doesn't matter at this point.
So 3rd and 10 coming up for the Hawks. Thompson to throw, stepping up, airing it down the right sideline. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's knocked away. Textbook defense there by Colin Welch. Just the man you're going to be talking to. So Welch has made several good defensive plays in addition to his 90-yard kickoff return. And he just reached up and batted it away with the left hand.
Yeah, we're going to go down there and see if we can't rustle him up here. I think you got it from here, right?
Yes.
All right, have fun.
So Tim will be joining a couple of Panther stars here shortly as the flag is down. And the way they're moving, it looks like they're going to be marching it back. 11 penalties now in the game on Cooper. 4th and 10 with 1:10 to go in the 4th. Once again, Tim Armstrong will be having post-game. Anderson, rather, will be having post-game interviews. Said Armstrong too much today. Rolling to the near side. Thompson on 4th down, pressured by Davis, gets rid of it. Into the sidelines, wouldn't have counted as a catch anyway. And once again, the pressure of Jamal Smith makes the difference as Smith trots off the field. No sacks for Smith today, but in terms of QB pressures, Buffalo beats Armstrong 16-7, so that's who Spring Lake Park will face, as they will come out and take a knee and put this one in the win column. Once again, they'll improve their record to 9-0 on the season. Cooper will see their season end at 3-7. Touchdowns in each of the 4 quarters here today. But again, credit to Tony Patterson and the Cooper Hawks for putting up a fight in the second half despite being with a backup quarterback and relatively undermanned. Spring Lake Park's defense forces 2 turnovers. They get a couple special teams touchdowns, a touchdown run, a touchdown pass. And that was all they needed to win this one at home. They've been upset here at home before in the playoffs, but it wasn't going to happen today, not with all the senior leadership that they have. Not the prettiest win they've had this year, but Spring Lake Park will certainly take it, survive, and advance the name of the game in the state playoffs. And SLP, with a couple special teams touchdowns, a touchdown run, and a touchdown pass, they defeat Cooper by a final of 28-12. The number 1 ranked Panthers, the number 1 seed in Section 6, win their semifinal, and they book a date here at home against Buffalo next Friday. Back in a moment here from Panthers Stadium, 28-12. Spring Lake defeats Cooper on North Metro TV.
Welcome back to Panther Stadium, everybody. A win, 28-12 for the Spring Lake Park Panthers. Just heard the announcement that they will take on Buffalo next week in the championship of the section. And welcome back. Standing by two guys that really helped us get there today, Colin Welch and Sawyer Thompson. And we'll start with you, Colin. First of all, I thought the kick return in the second half to get things started, that had to be a big one for you. Clearly got the energy up for the team. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a while since I got a return. I think last time I got one was against these guys in week 6, so had a few weeks without any returns, so it felt good to get that one and be able to house it.
That's kind of the fun thing to be a return guy, right? You always look for those opportunities, and then you almost got a second one late in the game. What were you guys seeing on special teams? Because it felt like that was the big difference in the game today, your special teams versus them. You guys seemed like you really were able to make some plays.
Yeah, we just see it on film. We see what their weaknesses are, and we choose our return based off that. First one started outside, then on that third one that I almost got, we decided to bring that one back inside after the two that went outside previously. Just tried to throw them off, so it worked out.
You guys really, again, made big plays in special teams today. You got you got the blocked punt early. You got the blocked extra point, which it looked like almost you were able to get that one in your hands, too. You almost counted that. How much do you guys talk and think about those tendencies? How much do you guys focus on special teams during the week?
We prioritize it actually a lot. I feel like more than people would expect for sure. We just know that with the guys that we have, we can take advantage of it like we do and be able to get some points. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Colin. Now we'll talk to Sawyer Thompson here today. And again, in a game where it's cold and it's rainy and it's windy and the offense seems to be a little bit slow to go, the defense really had to step up today. Your defense was fantastic.
Yep, defense was great all game. It's always nice to have a great defense to hold back on. I mean, offense just needs some time to get going sometimes, and we were always there to hold it down for a while for them, and then eventually we just make plays happen, and that's what happens.
How competitive are you guys defensively? You got so many guys that make a ton of plays, make a ton of tackles. Does this become like a competition for you guys within the game?
No, it's not a competition. We all love to make plays. We're all excited for each other. Just when it's your turn to make the play, go out there and make the play. I mean, it's your turn, make a play.
You had the big score on special teams to get things started. You kind of seem like have a nose for the football on that one. Did you see something there that saw that the door was be open for a touchdown?
So yeah, we drew that up. We knew that in practice. Chase was gonna come try to block it. He slipped it. Saw Marcus coming a little too high. Just came off the side, picked it up, end zone, and then yeah.
That's a fun play. It's always fun to get a touchdown, right? Now you guys get to go play Buffalo here for the championship. Any thoughts heading into that game, or is that just something that you got to take a couple days and think about?
No, yeah, we know them. We played them already. Some things they did, we can adjust to, and I think we got a lot coming for them. I think we'll be ready for them when they come here.
I'm excited for you guys. Congratulations. An excellent win today. That is Colin Welch and Sawyer Thompson joining me here after the game. Spring Lake Park wins this one today, 28-12 over the Cooper Hawks, and that will do it for our coverage on North Metro TV today. My thanks to Bill Huff up in the press box today, doing a great job. Our crew in the truck and our camera folks doing a great job all game long, as they always do here at North Metro TV. And on behalf of everybody else, this is Tim Anderson saying, keep your head up, have a great time, and we'll see you next time on North Metro.